Oh, hello, people. Oh, I can hear myself. Hold on a minute. I'll have to turn that down. Yeah, as you probably gathered, yet again, my little gremlins have left the stair lift and decided to come in and mess with my PC. And everything was hunky-dory as usual until I go live, and then it all goes pear-shaped very quickly. Even a smelly PC at one point, which was one of the... I have two cards, one's physics and the other one's the main, and unfortunately they got a little bit of cat hair from somewhere, I can't think where, and that was causing problems as well. So yes, fun and games. Hello, and yes, it is just me, and well, there was going to be a clip for you to watch from El Jimmy Poo. However, because of the problems we've had to do a workaround so that I can be with you here tonight. Aren't you lucky? I can't see what you're saying in the chat because I can't view the chat, although I suspect by this time, what are we, 40 minutes into where we should have been, Willow will be in the corner, Delboy's saying good one-liners, Daz is laughing his head off about something or other, and just general madness in there, so behave. And Willow, be good-ish, okay? Watching you. Can't see you, can't watch what you're typing, but I'm watching you. Yeah. Right. Shall we try and get on with what should have been a show starting 40 minutes ago, people? It is just me. I can't play the intro because that's on a different program. I can't really show you any of the clips because that's on a different program as well. So what I'm going to have to do is go straight into this, and I'm also going to have to be rude and look away here for a minute because with everything going wrong, half of my stuff decided to shut down, as it does. Right. I'm not going to be opening up web pages or anything like that because I'm afraid even if I see so much as a fart or a Dave Dawn burp, everything's just going to go down again, and we don't want that. If the sound's a little bit iffy, it's because it's through the microphone on the camera, not on the mic. Wirecast decided to throw a right wobbly and chucked everything out, and fun and games. Anyway, what should we have a go at? How about that? No, not the little black thing. It's so tiny you can hardly see it down the bottom. This here. You see that there? Do you know what that is? Do you? Do you want to know? Do you, sir? Ooh, shoo, sir. Yes, sir? Right. That is from Daz, the Safer Sigs, and it's his high voltage bud. High voltage. I like high voltages. Jim doesn't, as you are well aware. For a guy that doesn't like high voltages, why did he go out and get a double-barreled silver bullet? Because, I mean, the clip which I should have shown you, or which we were hoping to show you, he clearly states on there he doesn't have a throat anymore. Poor dear. But, you know, he does do these things. He says he doesn't like high voltages, and then he goes and puts that on it. It's terrible. Right, okay, this is from Daz. Standard 510. There's go juice in there. That's mine. That's my very special stuff. That is my raspberry. I covet my raspberry. I love it. And because it's high voltage, I thought, well, I'll shove some on there. And because it's high voltage, I'll put it on that. Because I don't really like faffing around with stacking batteries and stuff like that. I much prefer a varivolt. There's a new one coming up soon, isn't there? That'll be exciting. Oh, that's nice. That's either vaping at 9.5 upside down, or it's at that one there. I can't actually see. Wait a minute. I mean, it might be. Yeah, 5.7. Hissing quite nicely. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Usability-wise, it's actually very good, to be fair. Obviously, the original buds wasn't high voltage. These ones give you a bit more of a hit, if you like, when you take in the when you have a nice toke. See what I mean? There's no dryness there. It's a nice straight feed. Occasionally you do get a little bit of a burble. Basically just take the tip off and get it there. Now, there, you just saw that come up there, and hopefully we'll get it back down. There has been a couple of people mentioned they do get a spot of dryness. Again, that usually cures it. Just take off that. Use the other finger. There we go. Take that off. Let's the air back in. When you push it back in, actually I think it might have been the Fog King that Dave was talking about the other day. My God, my eyes are getting bad. There we go. Right, and lo and behold, you will have a fresh toke if you suffer from the dryness. And as I say, it's only a couple of people who's mentioned that. Raspberry. Yes, I do cover my raspberry. Very few devices see my raspberry pass through them or feed them on the power. I always have to straighten up my tip. See, it must be in line. I know there's some people out there who sort of can do all sorts of things, but mine must be in line. It's probably the X-Forces in me. Everything has to be regimented and fine. Although if you saw my desk at the moment, trust me, you would not believe that. I have a huge desk here, and it is just... I keep buying these little desk tidies to put the juice in and the things. Hang on, I'll show you my desk. You're going to like this. That is my desk. My mobile phone, and the phone which the daughter phones usually when I'm live on air. It is a bomb site. Hopefully that's gonna... Nope, that's a bit high. Let's get down. There we go. Wish I could see you lot talking in chat, because you're up to something. Right, high voltage buds from Daz. Lovely little things. They do work. I haven't had any dryness. A couple of people said they can, or they have had the dryness. That's the cure for it, people. Take the tip off. Take that off, and just put it back in. And it lets the air flow straight through. I've got to stop doing that without my glasses. You can get them £4.50 plus postage and packaging. That's for a little box, I believe. Sorry, Daz, if you can correct that in there or no. I have £4.50 on here. Usually I've got all the information I need in front of me when we're actually doing this, or me and Jim doing this. This one is not quite got that luxury, so you're going to have to excuse me if it's slightly wrong, but that does say £4.50 plus postage and packaging from Daz. I've got to put it down, because even though it's raspberry, I have to sort of do all sorts of stuff. Right, we're going to be looking at that in a couple of minutes. Not the actual hammer, the atomizer on the inside there. Again, it's from Daz. It's a Bowway, I believe it's called, a 306 low resistance, which I have been using. He doesn't have them on his site yet, but he will be very shortly, and they'll be coming out at about £5. I'm going to let you know about that. I'm going to be chatting to you about this. Now, there should have been a video accompanying this, which is a 510 bottom fed coil from Dorby up north, but as I said, I can't show it to you, so you'll just have to imagine in your brains that Jim is actually talking to you rather than me. That'll be an interesting one for you, won't it? I'm also going to be looking at these. E-Sig Wizard. I got through their Freedom USA samplers. I actually caught them when he had them in stock, so I thought I'll have some of those. Let's have a laugh. Let's have a listen. Let's have a sniff. Let's see what it tastes like. So I managed to get one. I did check on their site actually before it all went pear-shaped, and they are not in stock at the moment. So I can tell you what they're like, but you can't get any yet. You'll have to nag him, PM up. Wait, we want the flavours, okay? Start chanting. And if I have time, I'm going to be looking at that as well. Can you see that? Wait a minute. Oh, there we go. Look at that camera. There we go. Yes, it's the new little V3 from our old mate at UKV, Harry. Actually, Harry. Can you say that, or is it copyright? Well, I said it, so what's been said cannot be undone. Right, okay, so let's go back to this little don't knock the VV over. Excuse me just 1 second, because even though my speakers have decided that they want it to be funny, I can actually hear myself coming back through my headphones, which are also plugged in. So, boink, there we go, sorted. Nothing worse than listening to yourself, because inevitably there's a slight delay, and looking at what I'm looking at there, which you can see, and looking at that, which is actually showing, there is a little bit of a delay there. Oh, I'm just pointing at myself, about 3-4 seconds there. That's not bad actually, it's pretty good. Right, Bowway, 306, low resistance, atomizer. See that? Actually, you probably can't all that well. There we go, that might be, there we go, that's a bit better. Okay, so, well, get it back on the camera. So you can see it on there. Nice little sound, which is wet. Even a little bit puff of smoke there. Same as all 306's people, keep them wet. In fact, keep all your atties wet if you're dripping, because if you don't, you won't have an attie. And that's not good. Can you see me yet? It's very good, actually. I've been using that one now for a week. It's smoother than, I'm going to have to say it because it needs to be compared. It is smoother than a Cisco. It's not so much as a kick in your teeth, but there's more flavour because it's not all burnt off, which a Cisco can do depending on the juice which you've got. I love Cisco's. I love that one as well now, and I've got a couple of these from Daz to try out. Now I reckon at £5 a pop, and this one hasn't wimped out at all. It's still the same. Oh, nicotine on my finger. Tut. Ah, there's a point. I believe Dave asked, why do we do that? The reason why we do that is because some of these drip tips are so narrow. This one isn't. You know, it's a Canon. That's sometimes when you drip into them, you get like a little bubble going across, like a soap bubble across the top, which means that when you go to inhale, you get the liquid in your mouth. I don't like liquid in the mouth. Willow, behave. And you, Del Boy. So I do that just to make sure the pipe's clear. Okay? Always make sure your pipe's clear. And your tip is tinned. Or, yes, if Gary Dibley's in there. You're probably talking filthy. Actually, he's probably been sent to the corner already by Cat. That is nice, and for the purposes of that toke, I am using something from there. Raspberry again. Can you tell I like it? Masses of vapour, masses of taste. It is really nice and pleasant, and this has been my last thing at night toke before I go up, whereas I'm going up in my stair lift because like it's about 3 or 4 tokes on the way up. It's not exactly the world's fastest thing, and it's my first thing in the morning. Excuse me, Nickups. So it's the one that sort of sets you up for the day, if you like, before you get onto your other little toys which you've got scattered around. Ooh, Nickups. Get them in stock, Daz. Get them on that site. I do recommend them. For the price you pay, for the hit you get, for the taste you get, they are well worth it. 306s will go onto your 510s. I've got a dribbly bit. I have a dribbly end. Excuse me while I wipe it with a bit of tissue. Hey, this is great, this, because I can say things like that and Kat can't send me to the corner. Mind you, she can't send me to the corner anyway, because I'm talking to you. Ha! Sussed. Means I'm relatively safe. But if I misbehave too much, the almighty Dave might just... Well, hi-fi stud. Ooh, you've got to be careful there. That's what you get for your money. Plenty of taste, plenty of vapour. £5 from Daz. When he gets them up on the site, get them up on the site now, Daz. Come on, you know you want to. And get yourself a little bargain, really. Now I think next week, if Jim can get over here, or if not, we're going to do a pre-record for you, and hopefully everything will work. And I think we'll do a comparison with several of the devices here. Behave Willow. Right, what should we do now? This is all different because I had everything planned down basically to the 10 minutes. It's all gone pear-shaped. Everybody's against me. Infamy, infamy, they've all got it, infamy. Can I say that? Isn't that copyright? Yeah, well, I've said it. On the same device, we have that. Right, okay, let's take that off. Now, if you look down the Behave Yourself Willow hole there, yeah, and you Del, and you Daz, and you Gary, in fact a lot of you behave. Just look down the hole, see the magnifying glass, you can see that there's no tip on there, there's no blackness where the coil should be. That is because on this, the coil is down there. This is a 510 bottom fed coil. Jim did the video on it as well, which has dropped me right in it because all the details for it is actually on the web or was given in the video which Jim had. But obviously I can't play the video from Jim, and I don't want to start opening up things because that's where it all went wrong last time. So I'll have to follow this one up I think next week with you. But for the moment, this is a 510 bottom fed, low resistance, ATI, Carto. Yes, Carto. Available from Toby at iVapor. Okay? I've used these now for a week. They are good, but there is a but there. They don't seem to hold the goodness. They don't stay where they are, in my opinion. It seems to have a very fast drop off on the Cartos. Taste wise at least, and as you saw there, really for low resistance there, that's a freshly charged 3.7 high drain in that. Not particularly enough vapor. Now they are good, but the drop off on them makes you wonder, you know, how many of these would you have to buy to carry on enjoying them through the week. They don't die on you. I've got two here. I've got another one now. See, they don't die on you. They're just, the flavour just sort of dies on them for some reason after you've used them. You can try changing juice. The only thing I haven't put in here, Dave will be hallelujah by, is not menthol. I do have some menthol, Dave. I believe you asked me to keep it for you. I believe he said he was going to vape that all in one evening. But the flavours which I've tried, which is raspberry, I've tried some cherry, I've tried some gummy bear, because I'm different, so I like to experiment occasionally, and a couple of other flavours, but it doesn't seem to come back. The initial hits you get from it just withers away, which is kind of odd, to be fair. It's acceptable on the amount of vapour you get. It's just the taste that lets it down. When you first get them, you unwrap it, you put it in, you fill it up as normal, let it stand for, I usually let mine stand for about 10 minutes if I'm not reviewing them out the box at the time, and then you vape away, and they are really, really strong. And from there it's just a downhill. It's like a car, you put some of that booster stuff in the engines, and it supposedly gives it a bit more power, or enough to get you to the garage, and then it just sort of goes bleh and dies. But it doesn't actually die, it's just the flavour dies, I should emphasise that. Which is really strange, for want of a better word. Now I'm not sure whether any of the other presenters have got these. It'll be interesting to see whether they suffer the same. I think I saw with Jim's his did, because he was mentioning it as well, so maybe interesting. But there's not a lot of flavour there. I'll try it on the other one because that one's ready to go as well. I hope the sound's coming across to you people alright. I absolutely hate it when things decide that it wants to go pear-shaped on there. And it does. As Willow said the other day in chat, yeah, but when you do it, Andy, it goes, you do it with style. Thanks, Willow. Love you too. That's even weaker again. That was one of the first ones I used. All in all, my honest opinion, I'm not overly impressed. It hasn't died on me yet. None of them have. It seems to still be there. It's crackling away to its heart's content, but the flavour is just drop off. It's like it's fallen over a waterfall. You know, you start at the top, and before you know where it is, the water's at the bottom. I'm not quite sure where they've gone with it or how they've got it to be like that, but but we shall be looking at that again next week for you, because Jim did do a video and he looked ever so sexy in it. I know you love to see Jimmy Poo, so and Jess, she should start in it as well, albeit a fleeting glance, because evidently she says it's traumatic because her hair's never right. Isn't that sweet? But that's okay. So we'll see we'll give them another week's usage, like we gave the CE freeze. What did I do with that? Oh yes, Mr. Blue there never stopped leaking. So what happened to the other ones? You'll probably want to know, like Mr. Purple and Mr. White. No leaks at all. That one's still got a bit left in it, I think, on there, so you can see I have been using it. In fact, that one I've used a little bit too much, and I'm going to need to top it back up again, which I will do now. How's that? Yeah, hopefully, maybe, if my fingers cooperate. Excuse me while I just dip the tissue down here for a minute. There we go. Oh, it's alright, the microphone's up there, it won't deafen you. What should we have? Easy squeeze bottle, here we go. This may not be as simple as it looks, people, because as you remember from last week, we did actually mention the fact that it still comes with these butt plugs, and they don't want to cooperate. To give you an idea of why I say they don't want to cooperate is because when I went to transfer onto this, that won't come out, when I went to transfer onto this, I lost two of those rubber bungs using those. Pow! And off they went on their merry little way across the room, ne'er to be seen again. Last week we had poor Jess on her hands and knees trying to find them. Really quite entertaining. That's wrong, sorry. Forget I said that. You heard nothing. Nothing to see him move along. This is not going to cooperate. Oh. These, ladies and gentlemen, when they don't leak, when they fire up, are actually a vast improvement on what came before. However, I wish to stress at this point that they are still bollocks. They are frustrating to the nth degree. Whoever thought of putting that, can you see, little black bung in that all, should be placed up against a wall and slapped until they become known as sentient. Okay? Yes, let's keep it nice and clean, because that ain't going to come out. No matter what I do, it ain't going to budge. It refuses. It's in situ. It's a miners' strike all over again. It's just going to drive me insane. Hasn't got far to go, but it's trying to drive me insane. It is. Oh yes. It won't succeed though. No, I shall rise above it like a phoenix. There you go. Let's try this one. Now the reason I say let's try this one is because this one, unlike that one, doesn't have the bung up its all. Okay? The reason it doesn't have the bung up its all is because that's one of the bungs that went over there somewhere. Now to be seen again. You've heard that story. I've told it to you about 4 minutes ago, possibly, I think. Unless I was asleep. Was I? No. Right. Now, let's see if we can get this one to work. Please. You always fill the hole slowly. Don't force it in. Willow corner. See, I can't see the chat, but I know what you lot are up to. I think we're going to have to leave it at that, people. Not too good on squeegee bottles. Dripping's alright, because that sort of bottle, you tend to turn it upside down, it would sort of drip in, but unfortunately that sort of thing don't like drips. Moving on. Let's put it on my silver bullet. Shall we have a black tip? Or shall we have a ming tip? Do you want a minger or a blackie? We'll have a mingy. Wipe the tip so it's all nice and shiny. It's actually trying to get a bit of kick there as well at the back. I can't tell you Jim's experience with it. I asked him today before he sent me the video, which I can't play, and he didn't get back to me on whether or not his tour survived. I mean, you try to go into it with an open mind, but every time you think that something's been addressed, it hasn't. So they've got worked on one now. Both of these, when they were full, obviously I can't get the tip out of that one again, was wicking okay. That one was going a little bit struggly, but it wasn't dry. Okay, does that actually show? Yes, it is. But it wasn't dry. This one is tasty, really. For want of a better word, it has got a good bit of taste there. It's got a little bit of kick at the back when you inhale, but it's still got its problems. And the problem seems to be the base design of the people who's making it, to be perfectly frank with you people. If you suffer from easy frustration, do not buy one of these, because you will be driven around the bend. Okay? Getting those bungs out is bad enough. Putting the damn things back in is worse. Nice tweezers. You do get a pack of tweezers that come with it actually if you buy the 5-pack. They're useless. Completely and utterly useless. You do get a spare tip. Don't know where I'll give it to Jim. On that one. I use my own type on that one. But it's basic. Why didn't they put the bung in the cap? It's not rocket science. It's just makes life so much easier. You can imagine going around town trying to refill one of these. You drop your bung. It's bad enough in the house because you never find it. You then have to walk around filling up like this one. This one's fine because it's standing up. You've got that in your pocket, your handbag, or your laptop case or whatever, and it goes on its side or it goes upside down. Without that bung in, it stands a very good chance. In fact, it will leak out. E-juice in there, good. E-juice all over your pocket, no, it's not good, and it could be embarrassing depending on where the wet spot appeared on your jeans. If you just wet yourself, a little bit more work needed. It is a vast improvement on the original ones which we did. I think it was last month. But my honest opinion, it's still bollocks. Really, they need to address that bung. They need to get rid of that bung. If you're watching this, Royal Smokers, and you better be, get rid of that bung. Incorporate it into the tip. Make life easier. Make people sane. Apart from me, that's impossible. And possibly Dave Dawn and Cat and Mighty Mouse. Oh, he's well gone. And get it bloody sorted, please. Because at the moment, even though you've tried to address the problems, it's still bollocks. I'll say that again. I'm going to get really told off at the end of the show. Sorry, Dave. I just got to tell it like it is, dude. It's. But if you want to punish yourselves, and there are people who do like them, then iVapour, Toby iVapour from up north, he does them out there. They are quite a decent price. I can't tell you what it is because I'm petrified of opening up any other window on here. I'm watching the whole lot just go bzzz again and depriving you a lot of my presents. Poor sods. Right, I may have a bit of a problem now because we're going to move on, hopefully, to something which I don't have to sort of carefully pick my way around the wordy, sweary type filters of what I actually want to scream out. The epitomisation of stress, that, you know, the inability to say something when really all you want to do is reach across and what's it, I am going to have a problem here. One thing I didn't think of before the missus dropped off to go to my son's air cadets was the fact that obviously I have some problems with my hands. One of the problems I have with my hands, obviously we've got very small little bottles here with very small little lids, and I have now got to try and take off the lid. Yay, one's undone. So I'm going to do a little juice review for you lucky people. It is not going to be like last week's, especially not with these, because these are like 24 milligrams. So I'm going to limit myself to 2 tokes out of 3 bottles, okay? Because anything more than that and I'll be flying around the lounge, which is not good, okay? Right. I shall have to put on my glasses, shall I? Wait a minute. No, I won't. I can read these. Okay. Now these are Freedom Smokers USA sample pack from eCig Wizard. And the ones I'm going to try is hopefully the camera will try it. And so there you go, Babe Ruth, 24mg. And then we'll try, ooh, I'll just pick 3 at random. Try and get it in the camera, Andy. That's a great big thing there. Can you see it? Oh God, you're not going to focus, are you? Oh, it's good. Keep my hand still. Oh, behave. Right, cocoon. Ah, I can't get the twist. Raspberry. There we go. Get there eventually. Not sure where, but we do get there eventually. And another one of my absolute loves. Oh, if it will focus. Ah, cherry black. Okay, all at 24mg. Hopefully you saw that. Sorry, people. It's the twist. I haven't got it basically. Right. Hello. You lose sight of the camera and everything, yeah? Whether you lose sight of me, that would probably be a good thing, to be fair. Yep, there we go. I'm not going to get it too dry because they don't like it, and you will lose a natty very quickly that way, especially the 306 types. And that would upset Dave. You mustn't upset Dave. Right. Let's try. Which one do you want to try first, people? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't see which one you said. So we'll try Babe Ruth, alright? I love democracy in action. Uh-oh. Squeezing bottles can also be a pain. Actually, having said that, there's 3 drops on there now. Let's just hope it's not a natty killer. Okay. Sorry, just going to move something there. That's an interesting taste. To me, that's chocolatey. That's actually quite rich. It's not subtle. I've got to be careful here. The reason why I didn't inhale properly on that one is because it's 24mg, remember, people. I've got to be careful. I could actually go for a lot more of that, actually. That's a very rich taste. It's not sweet, but it's not sour. It's kind of like chocolate, which is strange. I don't know what's in it, and I've got no way to actually to punch it up. Not without taking a risk and punching it up. Very rich. I do like that. That's nice. Thumbs up for me from that one. But I'm going to stop toking that particular one now because I need to see the other 2. And if I toke that too much, no. Last week I earned my curry. So did Jim. Alrighty, let's try some cherry black. Should we try some cherry black? Let's see what that one's like. Wait a minute, make sure this one's clear. Because that's rather rich, and I don't want it to overpower. That'll be the Atty complementing that as well. Let's have a look. Okay, this seems lighter. The Babe Ruth, when I dripped it in, seemed quite thick, so let's just say what the mix is. I would presume, and it is only a presumption, people, that it will be standard mix, or 70-30 on that one, possibly 30, 50-50, but I will presume 70-30 on a standard mix. Ooh. Tastes like chicken. No, sorry, it's a choke within a cup. Forget it. That's much lighter, much lighter. Doesn't so much as hit you on the mouth. You get this one at the back of the throat. Actually, I've got a bit of drippage there. This is not good. Not good. There we go. To keep your base all nice and dry from those horrible juices, which in this case are extremely nice. It's quite a nice mellow taste, to be fair. It's not over rich like Babe Ruth. It is a much more fragrant sort of inhale. You do feel it more at the back of the throat than you do on that one. That one's sort of in your mouth. You're like, it's nice. This one is not quite sure what it tastes of, to be fair. It has got cherry in there, but I'm not quite sure what the black is. Whether or not that relates to black cherry, doesn't taste like black cherry, which I've been used to. But taste is subjective. A bit like the 7 of 9 saying resistance is futile. Taste is subjective, people. Not one I'd have all day, to be fair. It's not got. It's got the kick at the back of the throat, but there's something missing for me personally from that particular one. So it is a nice one, but it's not one which I'd use all day. Maybe once a week, or until the bottle runs out. Ever helpful. Oh, didn't I undo this one? I only undid 2 bottles. Excuse me while I make my tissue disappear down here again. Willow. Got to stop saying Willow, she's going to get a complex. Actually, she's been in the corner so often now, she's probably got a shadow mark where she sits. Alongside Dell. Let's try this. This is the cocoa raspberry. Chocolate raspberry. If it's anything like the chocolate dipped juice we had from another vendor from America again a little while ago, it should be delicious. Another reason for doing blowing down there, Dave, is if you get several of these in a row, you can make tunes just by going along and blowing into them, a bit like bottles. Try it. You know you want to. Go on. Oh, that's nice. Oh, people. When you get that one in, give that one a try. That is lovely. Rich. Gets you at the back of the throat, you can probably tell. Flavoursome. That is absolutely delicious. To me, that is absolutely delicious. Ooh. Going back to the Babe Ruth there, it's a cross between, whoa, don't drop them on the floor. It's a cross between them both. Oh, let's get a bit warm. So let's go. 306 rather. They do like to operate just a tad warm. It's a cross between those two. It's got the richness of that one in your mouth when you inhale, and it's got a little bit of a kick like that one. So you've got the best of both worlds in a really nice flavour. I didn't smell, did I? Look, you and all. Who said men never grow up? Yeah. I'm not squirting that one because it's wet at the top. And then we'll go, what about my nose? Hello. Not much aroma on that one. This one I'm suspecting there will be. This was the not much in the mouth on a, you know, the taste in the mouth, but certainly at the back of the throat. Very light florally type of taste, to be fair, which is odd considering it's cherry, but I think that depends on your nose as well. Obviously mine's a bit weird, goes with the rest of me really. Right, that's that one. I'm not going to have any more flavours, people, and I know you lot are probably saying, oh no, I shall limit myself to 3 because that way I know that I can still walk after, sort of. Okay. You rotten buggers. Right, but in case you're wondering, hopefully with Jim we should be doing, oh, you're not going to be able to see, are you? If I can get my fingers to cooperate, we have a few more flavours to do. Okay, is that showing? No, it's showing. There you go. So we've got a few more to do on that one, and we'll do those over the course of an afternoon next week with Jim, because I believe he has problems again next week as well. So it's going to be just little old me with recordings from Jim as well, hopefully, or him sitting beside me because he managed to get over here before he got warned. Alright? Right. So far we've had the high voltage bud from Daz. Thanks, Daz. That's one thing I didn't mention actually. Occasionally we'll get burbles from this one as well. That's the air passage on there, if you can see that. You can see it's slightly different colour than the rest of it. It's the air passage there. That can sometimes get a bit of juice on it. I've not actually had any juice in the mouth, to be fair, on that one. So the way out of that one would be to blow down it, I presume, to clear it. Only don't do it when it's on your unit, please, because it may well put the juice out over the over your device, and usually that's not a good thing, especially if it's not sealed. Okay, so bit of tissue at the bottom, just blow it through, and that should stop the bubble. Might be corrected on that one, but that's my understanding of it. Right, I received in the post today, brand spanking new from Harry, this. This is the version 3, if you like, of the Harry Carto tank on that one. See that? And I have got the, obviously, a Carto already in it, and I did order from him a couple more of the Cartos. I'll just try and get this one apart so I can show you one or two things with it, which I did request, and he assured me he does all of his the same way. That's the top off. I'm having trouble getting the bottom off. There we go. Right. On these carters, a lot of you have these sort of tanks now. A lot of people are sort of getting these tanks now, where they have the carto on the inside. And what they usually do... Have I got one handy? No, I don't. Is they put a slit along the carto, just on the thing, to break the... Let's open it up. There you go, now it's focusing. As you can see, this one's been punched with a nail. In my opinion, that's a safe way to do it. You see, when you're hacksawing, or you're using a Dremel especially, those little sparkly things you see coming off are actually metal shards, which are red hot, and they can get embedded in the wadding on the inside of those units. It would be a very rare sort of thing to happen if you inhaled one of them, but even so, it's certainly not nice vaping metal shards, okay? So my advice is, if you are doing this for yourself and putting your own holes in, punch them with a nail. Don't use a Dremel or a hacksaw, okay people? Safety first. Always wear your hard hats. Kinky with the wife. Might try that later. I'm coming in. Right, I'm going to try and undo this one now. So I need my tissue again, because it's very trusty, my tissue. It gives me just a little bit more grip. I'm going to need the other one for the top. I hope this comes apart. Yes, it does. Excellent. Right. Basically, instead of his usual push fit with the rings, what he's done with this one is made it a screw. Now with the device you do get a little destruction. I think they're showing you how to actually do it, if you don't know. So he does send that out with every unit which he makes, which is good. Car's on the inside, still got the cap on, as you can see, the little soft cap, or soft cap. And when you screw that in, it forms a seal at the top. Now they are quite stiff to screw in. The bottom one does unscrew. For purposes on here, I won't undo it because basically I can't. The carto itself is screwed into the bottom of that. Now it has to be put in quite hard, I must say this, because obviously when you unscrew the top, if the carto isn't in fully tightly, then it's going to unscrew with it because of the pressure at the top. Yeah, and if you've got juice in there, it's all going to come tumbling out. Okay, you've got a mess on your hands, not good. In fact, you've got a mess on your lap and basically everywhere. So do it that way and you should be okay. Now I was reading on that and I reckon this could go horribly wrong. I reckon the way to fill it is as it is now, because it's sealed at the bottom, you've got your ingress at the top. The only problem that may be on that obviously is screwing this in, because once that actually contacts with that, the seal on it, you can see, then of course by screwing it down you're increasing air pressure. So this might be interesting because it could still force stuff out the bottom. Now I am going to try and act sane for a minute. Here's something I didn't think of earlier, Mum. Trusty pair of these. Take that off. Bonk. Put these in, hopefully. Yeah. Right, for this purpose I'm not actually going to fill it right up. And I just told you why, because I think this would be probably the best place to fill it. See how much that takes. Diddy-boo. Alright, so we got a little bit in there now. Just imagine the strap now. Don't do it! Don't do it! It's all gonna go boom! Then you put your your cap on, trying to line it straight. Now this is where we find out if you're going to go boom. And as I say, it is quite stiff, so I mean I can do this one. So far we've got no signs of anything untoward happening anywhere, which is good. You just screw that on. I can feel the contact now. That's actually on. As you can see from the bottom, it is, whoa, there we go, it is clear, which is good. It's good, so that bit actually worked. Does the unit. Let's have a look. Silver bullet, because I can't afford a GG. I asked Dave, he says, you're not worthy, you can't have a GG. No. I don't think there's any GGs left actually. Put your drip tip in, for the purpose of this demonstration, which will use this drip tip. Safety approved. Don't you know? Now let's see if this is actually going to work, or whether it's all going to go horribly wrong, like it usually does with me. First time out of the box. It's actually not bad. Not much taster at the moment, but as the more observant of you would have realised that if I could have got the bottom off, I would have filled up the carto from the bottom thing. At the moment I'm using gravity itself to fill up the hole in there, and there is taste there, so it is working, which is why I did a very light toke first off. Had Jim been here, poor Jim, then we could have taken the bottom off and actually dismantled it fully for you. We may still do that next week and give you a little update on what's happening with it. That bottle there, I haven't got the faintest idea what's in it. I got that bottle at the mini meet in February, and I was so impressed with it because I can use it. I've sort of kept it, but what that means is, because I use it, I end up putting different juices in it. When that one runs out, I empty it out and put a different juice in. It's usually my own mixes, but I ain't got the faintest idea what's in that, and I've never got the faintest idea what was in the bottle before. It's alright, it doesn't leave the house, people, it stays on my desk, so it doesn't need the tactile warnings and the labels or anything like that. But I'm not quite sure if it's definitely got maple syrup in it. Actually, I wonder, I've got a concoction here I made. Waffles, chocolate and Belgian maple syrup. So Belgian waffles, maple syrup and chocolate in that one there. I just made a little bit of it because like I wasn't too keen on it, and I absolutely use it on one of my devices. I've always got it near me. I've even got a little bottle which I take in the car just in case my juice runs out. It's better now, she's waking up. I've had, from the time I started vaping back in November, 8 different Ari tanks. This one, and you can see them on UK Vapors, the forums. Just look on for the vendors and sellers, or mod makers, I believe it is now, and you can see them for sale in there. This one is by far the best, not just because it doesn't have the push-in problems, and some of them are problems, but because it actually, in my opinion, looks better, even though it's only something like something to grip. when you're trying to take it apart, but because it does unscrew, it's very easy to change for your Kato. It's easy to fill because you just take the top off and top it up. You shouldn't have juice going everywhere. If you use that method there, it's not what it actually says on there, I believe. No, it doesn't. But that's what you should do it. Don't fill them up from the bottom on this one. Take the top off and just top it up. It's not rocket science. You may get a problem with the pressure if you overfill it, maybe. I can't answer that one because on this occasion I haven't filled it right up. I've only filled it halfway up, or just under halfway up there, as you can see. But for me, personally, with the problems I have with my fingers, Harry, +1 dude. Absolutely excellent. Well done. Round of applause. Only I can't clap my hands together because it'll hurt me. That's work. That's brilliant. Now all I need to do is design an ego battery with little holes down the middle, so that when you're not inhaling, you can blow through it and make little tunes. Because that'd be good, that. Be cool. Yeah? Pied Piper. A vaporling. UK vaping forums, people. Look up Harry. Send him a PM. Put a post on there. Could I have one? Get it sorted. I think that's a brilliant thing. I really do. And looking at my clock, I believe that I have run for an hour at this particular moment in time. And as such, I believe that I will kindly, politely, rather gratefully, because it all went okay, albeit via a different medium, and hopefully you're not too sore, Willow, from being in the corner, and your cap hasn't been skewed, Del. One thing I will say, competition was due to end today for the 10 winners of Gary Dibley's box mods. Now, there are still a few out there which haven't had time to make it up, so I can't edit the post, because you can't edit the posts. That is going to be extended now for another week. Okay, so Dutch Angel, I know you're one of them. I don't know whether you're in channel at the moment, sweetheart. If you are, hurry up and try and get your entry in. Anybody else who was one of the 10 winners, get your entries in. You've got a superb prize there. I can't read it out because I can't open up and navigate on that one, because I just know that everything's going to go bang, and you're going to be left with a black screen with nobody there. Half a sentence in. But it is a well-worthy prize. You can check up on the prize if you look on UK Vapors with the competitions. Get your entries in. We're shutting it down next week. I will put a subtopic in, or a reply to say that it's being delayed for a week and the reason why. To those of you who have sent entries in even, thank you. Magnificent boobage there to Harlequin 69, I believe it was, if memory serves me correct. I wonder what you had to offer in return for that one. And even Del Boys put a video up there this morning, I believe, which I watched. Absolutely brilliant again. So if you haven't got it in yet, people, get your entries in. Okay? It's worth it. Now, you've had a rant. You've had a plus up. You've had a plus up. You've had a definite pluff up. Pluff up. Plus people. God, it's one of those nights. And you've had a plus up. So, all in all, it's been a good night, to be fair, with what we've got. It's just one little well, red herring, I suppose, in the mix, but as I say, that particular thing, ding, you know of what I speak. Unclean. It's come away, but it's got to go a lot further yet. before it's something which we'll be looking at and going, oh yes, they've finally done it. It hasn't happened yet. Not yet. Anyway, people, I am going to have to cut you loose. I wish you all the very best. It's been lovely to actually get on here and say hello before I have to say bye. Okay, so I shall catch you all next week, hopefully with Jim, and hopefully with the correct medium so I can start playing the videos and stuff which I have. Alright? I haven't got the faintest idea how this thing switches off, so I think Dave went live for me. All I will say at the moment is bye. I wonder how bloody switches off, because I know that's still alive.